well, my head's cut off a little bit, but you can see where I'm working on. Alright, so I'm going to give you some recipes. We're working with Essential Depot's essential oils because they're therapeutic organic grade and the most wonderful essential oils in the whole wide world and whatnot. And so I'm going to work with giving you some recipes. Now, I used a tablespoon when I was working in my kitchen, so when I started making soap, I started using it with a tablespoon. So I'm going to tell you how I do it, but I've got it on, you can put it on a scale and measure things out, but roughly 2 tablespoons is an ounce. Alright, so cinnamon and clove, where's the other one? And clove leaf. So I've got clove bud, clove leaf, and cinnamon. Now I've got a double batch over there, okay, and I'm working with double batch. But on my website, KimberlyMagna.com, there's single batches and double batches. And if you're using just one of those small 4-quart crock pots from Walmart and you need a 4-quart, you need to do a single batch. A double batch won't fit in it. So we're going to talk about enough essential oils for a single batch. And usually about 2 ounces of essential oils will do it. But if you put 2 ounces of cinnamon in there, people's going to be turned on fire, you know, because cinnamon is one of those that it will agitate the skin if you put too much in. So we're going to talk about some recipes. So your clove leaf and clove bud, clove leaf particularly, is less irritating to the skin or sensitizing. And cinnamon, don't put it to your nose, but cinnamon is strong, so you don't need a lot. And then there is cassia. Cassia is what you buy ground at the grocery store and they call it cinnamon. It's a sister. And now that, if you let it touch your nose, it stings big time. Okay, so one of the things you can do when making a nice cinnamon soap, cinnamon clove smelling soap, is you can do 1 tablespoon cinnamon, a half a tablespoon cassia, and then you can do 2 tablespoons each of the clove leaf and the clove bud. And that turns out to be 1, 2, and a little bit more than a half of it. And what you do is you pour that in your soap and you stir it up, and you can leave a little bit out. You might go with 3 clove bud and 3 clove leaf, and then do 1 cinnamon and a half on the cassia. You always have to be real sparing on the cinnamon and the cassia. All right, especially cassia. All right, and you just measure that into your container, and then you can also see where it comes out on your scale. So if you want to do it by measurements on your scale next time. All right, so that's a good one. Then you smell it. You stir it up real good, and then you smell it. And if it smells too strong, it's going to be just right because it's hot. And you know how it is when you put an air freshener in your car. When you put that air freshener in your car and you come back later and it's hot weather, it smells too strong. But that's because the air freshener got hot. So the soap is hot. So when it cools, it'll be just right. So if it smells just right, that's when we're going to add a little bit more. But I don't think you'll need to on this particular recipe. If you do, try adding a little bit more of the clove. Now, you've already got agitating cinnamon, agitating cassia in there. You could try a half a tablespoon, if you cut back on the others, you could try a half a tablespoon. Where's my peppermint? A half a tablespoon of peppermint and leave out the cassia. Peppermint also being one of those that you cannot, you put 2 ounces of peppermint in a soap, it might set people on fire. So you might want a cinnamon clove with a peppermint, sweeten it up with some mint. That'd be a really fun combination as well. And let's get those out of the way. Alright, so now another good recipe, another good essential oil is geranium and lavender. Oh, those are wonderful. And when you put a little bit of French lavender in there with it, ooh. And then you can make it even more fun with some ylang ylang. Ylang ylang, French lavender, regular lavender, and geranium. Ooh, that's awesome. So you could put like an ounce, 3/4 of an ounce, if you was going to do this on your scale, because you could do it half and half. You could do 1 tablespoon regular lavender, 1 tablespoon French lavender, and then a tablespoon of ylang-ylang and a tablespoon of geranium. Now, your lavender will get lost just a little bit in that. And if you want to make your lavender pop, and because your lavender is very benign, you could go ahead and put a whole ounce or two, you could put another whole ounce of that, doing a 3-ounce recipe going into a single batch, because your lavender is very benign. It's even safe for children. So you could put an ounce of lavender, an ounce of French lavender, a tablespoon of ylang-ylang, and a tablespoon of geranium. Another great one is just geranium and lavender, and another great one is geranium and ylang-ylang. These you would put equal portions. So if we were doing 2 ounces, it'd be 2 tablespoons ylang-ylang, 2 tablespoons geranium, or an ounce of each for your 2 tablespoons. Also, take out the ylang-ylang and just put an ounce of lavender to an ounce of geranium, and you could do the combination between the two. And that would be an awesome recipe. And then remember, when you smell it, you could add just a little bit more. You don't want to go overboard. One of the fun things about geranium is it's in the rose family. So just like the rose essential oil has all those wonderful healing properties, so does the geranium. And regular lavender is like the most healing essential oil for the skin, and that's safe for children. And then the French lavender has a more floral smell. You don't smell that chemical back note that you get in regular lavender, which you will smell if you buy a container of lavender buds and you will get that chemical back note on the back of lavender. It's just, that's part of lavender. That's who it is. But with the French lavender, the floralness of it is awesome. But it's not as healing to the skin, but it really pops the floral smell. So doing a half and a half or 3/4 and a 1/4 really makes a recipe pop. All right, so, and then another one for men is eucalyptus, cedarwood, and lemongrass. Oh, these are some awesome ones. You've got 2 ounces. Your lemongrass, your cedarwood, and your eucalyptus are all fairly benign when it comes to problems with the skin. So lemongrass being a natural skin toner, but it also is very overpowering. It is so strong. It will just cover up all other essential oils. So it's really good to use more of the eucalyptus and the cedarwood and just put a tablespoon of lemongrass in there. So like a tablespoon of that, 2 tablespoons of eucalyptus, and maybe a tablespoon of cedarwood. And then when you put it in there, that'd be 2 ounces roughly. When you put it in the soap, smell it. If you'd like to woods it up just a little bit more, add another tablespoon of the cedarwood. So 2 tablespoons eucalyptus, 1 or 2 cedarwood, and 1 lemongrass. Men love this smell. This is a really good smell for men. All right, and then pine. Pine and tea tree is a wonderful smell. Men really like that. It's very woodsy smell. You would do 1 tablespoon tea tree to 3 tablespoons pine, in my opinion. And then you could add a little bit more pine later if you realized you needed it once you were mixing. Rosemary and lavender goes really well together, but rosemary will overpower the lavender, so it's 3 parts lavender to 1 part rosemary. So 3 tablespoons lavender, and you might do 1 tablespoon French, 2 tablespoons regular, and 1 tablespoon rosemary. Then smell it, see what you want to add to it, how you want to enhance it once you get it in your soap, and stir it up really good and go. And then rosemary and peppermint is awesome. Peppermint, where is that at? There it is. Rosemary and peppermint rocks. So you would do 1 tablespoon peppermint to 3 tablespoons rosemary. Rosemary being very benign, you could then add more rosemary at the end once you've smelled it. If it doesn't smell too strong, it just smells just right, then add more rosemary. Be cautious adding more peppermint. Alright, another one is Clary Sage and peppermint and rosemary. Very herbally, smells just awesome. 1 peppermint, 1 Clary Sage, 2 rosemary, then play with it. Now, I get more people allergic to Clary Sage than any essential oil. Many people do not realize why they throw up every Thanksgiving or Christmas after dinner, and that's because they're allergic to the sage in the stuffing, and they don't realize it because we just don't encounter sage that much in our lives except for around the holidays. If you get a person with allergies to sage, they'll break out usually with a light rash and whatnot. So I always think it's good not to put it too heavy. And Clary Sage is pretty potent, so so you smell it. It's pretty potent, so that's a good thing. So you can put more rosemary, and then 1 tablespoon peppermint, 1 tablespoon Clary Sage, and then possibly add more Clary Sage to it once you smell it in your soap. Have it right there ready with your tablespoon to increase, and have a notepad so you can, say what you put in that soap, so you can do it exactly the same the next time. All right, and then of course our tea tree and cedarwood, very popular with teachers who worry about head lice at school, popular with parents who worry about head lice coming home from school with their children. Really great for washing your dog. Tea tree is considered a natural drug. So you always want to be sure that you don't get your percentages too strong with tea tree. I say no more than 2 tablespoons of tea tree in a single batch is a safe range. So 4 cedarwood to 2 tea tree would be a good range for a single batch. You could top this up with another ounce of cedarwood. That would be 6 tablespoons, 3 ounces, and 1 ounce of tea tree, which would be 4 ounces. But we're wanting to do a job here. We're wanting to get rid of those little head lices and help out the doggies. And yes, if I take this bottle of tea tree and it was full and I poured it all over me, I would absorb too much of it and I could fall into a comatose state and or have lots of organ problems. Tea tree is a natural drug. You'll hear people say, oh no, tea tree is not safe for dogs. And yeah, tea tree is not safe to be poured on dogs. You don't put tea tree straight on a dog. But when you're putting it in your soap, it's a wash on, wash off situation. There's very little residue left on their coat. You rinse well, and so they don't have absorption. A cat's another story. They're gonna sit and go and lick 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 themselves all the time. So they're gonna get more of a residue down their throat. And tea tree should not be put in the mouth. I see it all the time in toothpaste and recipes to go in the mouth, but I just don't think tea tree needs to go down the hatch or get in the hatch, because it's going to get some of it down the hatch, and it's just bad for your kidneys and your liver and things like that. But that's up to you. And I also see recipes where people are putting it in the tart burner, and I just don't think tree essential oil should be smelled, and tea tree especially that way. If somebody has chronic lung problems, fine, but when people just want to sterilize their home with tea tree, I just don't think that's the way to go. Breathing the fumes of tea tree just does not rock, in my opinion. All right, so and when you're using tea tree in a product that's going on the entire body, not a soap because it's a wash on, wash off, but like a lotion or oil or something, it's 1% tea tree if you're putting it from head to toe. If you're just using it on your boo-boos, well, then you can use it stronger, but everybody tolerates it different. So some people will tolerate tea tree full strength on a boo-boo. Some people will get all red and irritated with that. So everybody just has to check it out for themselves. But it's different when you're putting 100% tea tree on a couple of little spots on your face compared to putting 100% tea tree all over your entire body. So if you're putting tea tree on the whole body, such as a lotion, or even if you don't intend your customers or you or your friends to put that cream or that oil on the whole body, somebody's going to do it if it's possible. So I say, you know, if it's a product that could be applied to the whole body, 1% tea tree is your safe level. All right. So, and I always use glass. If you put your essential oils in some types of plastic, you just eat a hole right through the bottom. Ta-da! And it's everywhere. All right, and it's good to wear gloves when you're measuring essential oils too, so that you don't get full strength on you. And peppermint is a natural. It's hiding. It's in here somewhere. Oh, and eucalyptus and peppermint is awesome. And I think you could do 4 tablespoons eucalyptus and 1 tablespoon peppermint for a single batch, and you would love it. Eucalyptus and peppermint is very popular with men, and it's popular with people that suffer from nose problems. Well, anyway, the peppermint's in here somewhere. Oh, here we go. If I take this peppermint, take off the bottom, pour it on me, besides the fact it might irritate my skin, it's also a natural uterus, triggers a flush. So you're going to start your cycle when it's not due, and or if your cycle is due, you're going to cause it to trigger early or time. It's going to be heavy, because peppermint is a natural uterus flush, and that's why they're so cautious about peppermint with pregnant women, because they fear that it could cause a miscarriage. And it's not, oh, there goes my phone, hang on a minute. And it's not that big a deal with your peppermint from, it's not that big a deal for people that's not at risk for miscarriage, you know, to enjoy a little bit of peppermint. It's just that the whole thing can be risky. And what if you don't know you're at high risk? You know, what if it's your first pregnancy? So just staying away from peppermint when you're pregnant is just a wise choice, okay? All right. And anytime you're doing an herbal soap, 1 tablespoon of peppermint within your herb essential oils always sweetens the pot and makes it awesome. All right, so I hope you enjoyed that. Oh, I forgot to say, lavender and lemongrass is some of the most popular. Right there, that is one of my most popular soaps. It's 4 parts lavender to 2 parts lemongrass. And I would do the French lavender, the regular lavender, and then the lemongrass. So, because the lemongrass will overpower your lavender, and when you get done with it, if you don't have enough of a lavender smell and all you can smell is the lemon, chunk some more lavender in, because lavender is pretty benign. It can be put directly full strength on infants, they say. So it's not like you can go too wrong with lavender. Lavender is pretty safe, but do remember, lavender makes you sleepy, especially the French lavender. French lavender will knock you on your butt. That stuff is the sleep agent of the essential oils.